All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy Chak, back again with the Lumenswap podcast. Now, this week we're going to be doing something a little bit differently. We decided to do this because we want to give you guys more quality content. What we're throwing at you, we want to be a little bit more diverse. Since Ben and Jen already have a kick-ass podcast that reviews everything that we're up to, I figured that maybe we'll swip it up and get some community-based questions, throw you guys out a little incentive and see what we come up with. We'll be doing this bi-weekly AMA, bi-weekly. So you know what it is. So first things first, there's 1,000 LSP on the line for winning this thing. I just want to say that again, 1,000 LSP. Now this week we got a limited number of questions in. Next week, is that my sign that I need to spice it up a little bit? Do I need to give you 2,000 LSP, 3,000? Let me know what it's going to take for you guys to get done what you need to get done. All right. So every week we're going to be doing the top 5 to 10 questions, community based. Now, just so you know, in case you missed it this week, you can DM me directly to my, matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to set up a Chak channel right there on Telegram, or you can go on Discord direct and enter it in there. There's a little channel that says Chak's Podcast on it. Enter your question in there. You can enter multiple if you want to, and that's going to be your chance. So starting from the time you see this until Thursday, 2 weeks from now, you can enter in your questions. And when you enter them in this week, let me know what you want to have. What's the incentive going to be that's going to get you here asking questions? We want to get a bunch of them, super engaged. And so here we go. First question of the week. I got my little cue cards here. Ooh. When will the LSP yacht party happen? This is from Fergal. That's a great question. We're thinking around the time we get to $1 as our market value price that we should be able to go ahead and justify doing that. When we get to $1, we've been toying around some different ideas, catting around. We're thinking maybe Dubai, we're thinking maybe US centric. We don't know quite yet, but as we start approaching that dollar mark, that's gonna be our good cutoff for being able to put something like that together. We're estimating the expense anywhere from about $500K in order to rent one. And so we'll see what's going on from there. Second, are there plans to list on more exchanges soon? This was also submitted by Fergal, and that's actually a really good question as well too. If you guys have noticed, we've done in the last 6 weeks 5 different exchanges. We're now on CoinMarketCap, we're now on CoinGecko. We've made some strides. Vlad's been working really hard to get us on these exchanges. I think we've hit the point now to where what we want to accomplish is having a great offering to let these exchanges come to us. These exchanges start courting us and noticing us as one of the true powerhouses in the fintech section of XLM. And so I think right now we're focusing on our offering. We might have some coming up. I haven't heard anything specifically, haven't been told anything, but we are concentrating on our offering right now, and these exchanges should be coming in day after day after day, baby, once we get everything going on here next month. So appreciate that question, Fergal. And then this one here is from my man, John. Shout out to John, big bull run. Which asset can we use as collateral? At this particular point in time, it's really hard to say anything solid, right? Like, we assume that we'll be able to use LSP. We assume that we'll be able to use XLM and some of the more high value assets on the Stellar network. We don't want to get too deep into it. We know that USDC has now been presented as an option, and of course being a stable coin, that's a thing. But outside of that, there's other assets that could possibly exist. We could have some of our bigger fintech partners like Stronghold or Aqua or one of those clients. We don't know as it sits right now. We're gonna wait till the 18th, but what we do know is that we should be able to use LSP, we should be able to use XLM, and we should be able to use USDC. And those are the only ones that we can possibly say for sure, and we still can't nail those down, but we'll go ahead and say that that's probably going to be a thing. Next question here. What sort of APY will we be looking at using our assets as collateral? That's another one of those really tricky questions, because as it sits right now, we don't have the systems in place. That generally is dictated by the amount of volume that's needed, the amount of liquidity that's needed for a market pairing. And so the ones that are more popular on an exchange are going to need more liquidity because they're doing more volume. The ones that are less popular are going to need less liquidity. More liquidity equals more APY. Less liquidity equals less APY. And so there's literally impossible to tell right now as it sits. It's even really impossible to gauge the metrics or the standards because we don't have the value numbers yet. But we will rest assured that, when we are able to use these, that we're gonna try to have the best offering for you guys as far as the platform goes. And so I'm anxious to see which ones we can use as well too, and what type of APY we'll be seeing as well too. Next question here is from Mousebin. What will separate Lumenswap from competitors like option blocks? That's a good question as well too. Yeah, I think the main thing that's going to separate us from our competitors is we don't really care. Right now we're focused on our offering. When you think about really good football teams, think about the New England Patriots. They are known for being an in-house football club that's won a lot of championships. They don't really go around worrying about what everybody else is doing. Everybody else is worried about what the Patriots are doing. And we just want to stay true to our roadmap. We want to stay true to our community, because in doing so, we can make sure that you guys are happy, we're happy, and the whole operation is moving soundly. And so we're concentrating on our roadmap. We don't know what anybody else has going on. We might know, but we're not being accountable to that. We're just focused on getting AMMs out. That's the next step on our roadmap, and as you can see, we've been slaying it all the way through. We just want to focus on getting these AMMs out, getting some marketing going, and we'll see what our offering looks like, or how our offer stands up to the other competitors that we might have when we get to that point. But I think we've been doing pretty well thus far, just in terms of our volume, our position in the market. I think we're great, and so we're just going to focus on our offering, but rest assured we're going to give you a great one for that. Last question we got here. When do you think the Stellar AMM will be launched, and how soon will the LSP product launch afterwards? And that's by Fergal too. That is a great question. We're looking at weeks now, not months, weeks now. We know that the AMMs roll out on the 18th. I think they went ahead and said that nobody's going to avoid it. And so on the 18th, I know that they've rolled out enough systems to where I'm not going to say it specifically, but where the network will be ready to start implementation. The goal is to start implementation that day. And so I don't think it's going to be very long. I think we're looking within a month here that will be rolled out, and expecting to see liquidity, which is going to look really great on everybody's LSP. And I'm excited about it. I know you guys are excited about it. It's just a dope question, honestly. Yeah, and so I think that's all the questions that we got, man. I think that last question, the question of the week here, was probably the best one, because we've all been wanting to know about the AMMs. We're excited, we're hodling, and it's just a really good opportunity for us. And so next month, look for that. Start getting your boat shoes ready. We're gonna be headed to the moon, and I know this to be true. Make sure you guys get your questions in next week. Make sure you guys stay active in the community. Make sure you guys invite people in. We're a growing community. And so you can find me on the Discord server at Chak Podkast, or you can also find me here, Telegram, DM, boom. You know what it is. Look forward to your questions next couple of weeks, man. Let's get it.